Welcome, welcome to the Murder Maker edition of Mixed Nuts. I'm your host, Lee Mathews. We're going to have a delightful evening tonight. So, I hope that you have a beverage and a comfortable place to sit as I share some stories. I live in a rural town in northern Maine. I'm a famous horror author, big enough to rival Stephen King. Released more than 100 titles over the course of my career, but unfortunately, I'm ailing, I'm out of words, and I'm deep in retirement. So I'm thinking about my legacy and helping less established authors to carry on my craft. A life's work doesn't come without muses. Things, qualities, and even objects have steered my writing through the years. Literary critics have been able to spot them. Readers who have paid attention have noticed them too. But no one is quite sure exactly what ties my work together. It's a secret that's been kept very intentionally. Friends, I've got a terminal diagnosis and limited time, and I've invited a group of super fan authors to my home to study under me for 6 weeks. They will learn not only what ties my work, but how to propel my legacy. These chosen have agreed to drop all they know about the written word, lose their own voices, and take on mine forever. But the hook, because you know there's always a hook. Not everyone will leave my mansion, rumored to be haunted, alive. Instead, one unsuspecting author will become the group's muse. Who will survive? Who will die? And why? So welcome, friends, to the Murder Maker Workshop. Again, I hope that you have a beverage, because tonight I'm going to share with you the players. 5 will enter. 1 will die. Who will it be? Thousands applied for these coveted positions, but only 5 were selected. I had no idea who would die. It was intended that way. Their words, their stories, her mood, and in many cases their own egos would dictate that. I'd done my research, of course. No author with any sense would proceed otherwise. We had spent a year sifting through more than 100,000 applications. What the hell else was I going to do with my time? I was done with chemotherapy and radiation. I'd turned down immunotherapy, tired of prolonging the inevitable. I'd even gotten her blessing, and soon we'd be together in eternity, whatever that looked like. My final reasons for picking each student would never be known to my visitors. I refused to leave every secret on the table, and of course I was very protective of my Virginia, as she was me. There would be theories, certainly. There always were. And with the group I'd compiled, the reasons might even be obvious to them. It could go any which way, really. Plot twists and turns were what I enjoyed best about the writing process. The rules were simple. They were to stay at my estate for a 6-week period. They were to bring to workshops only pens and paper. They were to drop their own voices, and all they thought they knew about the written word, I'd teach them to write like me. One, the least lucky, would be used as a sacrifice. An author cannot know the taste, sight, and feel of a corpse unless they've spent time with it rotting firsthand. That's what I'd tell them. Hell, it was what I had told them when they'd agreed to this, and not one of them had blinked or reported me to the authorities. I hadn't, of course, admitted that I knew this from my own tragic experience with Virginia, but I was more than aware that she was exactly the reason for my better later works. I knew they wouldn't report me. What they did when they left my estate would be of no real consequence to me. The story would be simply a bigger part of my legacy, a legend passed down for generations about a man twisted enough to leave his life's work in the grabby hands of strangers, but only after a sacrifice. They'd be reluctant, of course. Anyone on the premises could technically be considered an accomplice. Whatever. Would not be my problem, and with Anthony's help, in mere hours after turning my estate over, Virginia and I would be gone forever. As they scuffled about in the aftermath of the experience, she and I would finally have a chance to get started on a happy ending of our own. Lord knew we'd earned it. As for my students, not even close. Greed is a predictable thing. They'd risk their very lives to spend 6 weeks with me. They'd tell themselves the 20% shot at skipping to the top was worth it. To own my estate, backlist, unfinished manuscripts, and the whole of everything would be good enough odds to hand me the keys to their final destinies. And all the while, not one of them would know that it was the very thing that would most infuriate me. Believing they could skip the steps. Entitlement. It was and always has been my biggest pet peeve, and it was the one thing they all had in common. If they wanted to offer their lives for all I'd spent mine on, well, who was I to stop them? I wasn't the monster inside them. That was entirely of their own making. As for Virginia, she agreed, and she was watching. Always observed. My role was clear. I was the murder maker, plain and simple. It was all I'd ever claimed to be. As for them, they could think I was here to silver spoon feed them every one of their dreams. I couldn't do shit about assumptions. And that was the thing. Not one of them had bothered to do their research on me. Not one of them knew that I no longer had anything to lose. I'd already lost my Virginia. So, friends, there's how we begin the Murder Maker Writer's Retreat. As you can see, I've got nothing to lose. Just an old sickly man wanting to give on my legacy. But it comes at a price. Nothing is free. So now, friends, I want you to meet the players. These 5 grabby hand fools who think they can skip the steps and achieve the greatness that I have worked for my whole life. And I want you to think and decide. Out of the 5, one will die. Who will it be? So let's meet these players. Our first player, Ruby Vincent, legal name. Pen name, Holly Stars, for all us Hollywood starlets. Preferred genre, horror. Years of writing experience, 4 years. Best-selling titles and awards attained, international bestseller, aiming for USA Today. Number of published works to date, 3. Employment. I work 1 night a week at the local theater club as Ms. Monroe. Other than that, I focus solely on my writing. That's why I have 3 books in 4 years. Hobbies. Is drinking a hobby? I love that in old movies. Audrey Hepburn is a goal I strive to be like. Dietary preferences, restrictions, no red meat, no wheat of any kind, only fresh fruit and vegetables. I need high-end bottled water, and it needs to be diet. Writing goals. To write a book that will get me on the big screen. I want people to know me like they know Lee Mathews. My dream is to have them impatiently waiting for my next great book to release. Personal goals. To be a famous writer, movie star. I feel like I can and deserve both. I will do whatever Mr. Mathews says to do if it will help me achieve this faster. And in 500 words or less, tell Lee Mathews why you should be chosen to attend this once-in-a-lifetime workshop. I should be chosen to attend this workshop because I will bring to it what he will. I want to be somebody and feel like Mr. Mathews will be the one to help make my dreams come true and to help his legacy live on. He has loads of success and is dying. He will need someone to carry on his twisted legacy, and who better than a beauty from LA? I will bring charm and a sense of life to the event. People are drawn to me, and I feel like I could be beneficial to him that way. Besides all of that, I've been a huge fan for as long as I can remember. I deserve to be here and learn from him all that he will teach me. After all, there has to be a faster way to success, and every Hollywood star needs their story written. With his many books and errors along the way, he can help me learn what not to do to get ahead in my career. Now, Ruby Vincent. My impressions on this applicant. She's sloppy. Can't be bothered to answer even the final question. She clearly doesn't self-edit. Ego. Questionable. She seems to have the best manners in the group to date, though. You know, valley girl. Possible inability to mimic my voice. Has goals, but questionable ones. Likely an alcoholic who thinks her looks can buy her the top shelf. Believes there is such a thing as diet water. I'll need earplugs when this one speaks. Focus is fame, not the art of writing. Missed the memo about assuming my name and voice and writing in ambiguity. Will be miserable if she wins, which could lead to darker works. Entitlement like I deserve. Errors along the way. Pfft, her arrogance. Our next applicant, Jennifer Woodall. Pen name Jenny Olson. Preferred genre, dark fantasy. Years of writing experience, 10. Best-selling titles awards attained, 3. Number of published works to date, 6. Employment, full-time author. Hobbies, collecting oddities and creepy artifacts. Dietary preferences and restrictions, keto, leaning toward carnivore diet. Writing goals to win a Hugo Award. Personal goals to have $100 million in the bank by age 30. And in 50 words or less, why she should be chosen to attend this once-in-a-lifetime workshop. I could go the sycophantic route and tell you how discovering your books when I was 13 was a pivotal moment in my life. I could also tell you that your words inspired me to write my own, but the fact of the matter is that my words would have found a way out regardless. I'm not sure how many other so-called authors you're considering for the retreat, but I can wager that not one of them can hold a candle to my resume. How many of them became an international bestseller at the age of 15? How many signed with a Big Six publisher before graduating high school? None. I'm not asking for permission to be a part of your workshop. Do I want to be a part of it? Yes. Do I feel as though I should fill out some asinine application to get there? Hell no! If you're serious about having the best of the best come to your home, then you should see by my writing history that I am the obvious choice. Your words may have dried up, but mine are still flowing full force. Tap into that energy and cast all others aside. If you don't have the balls to cut the other authors at this workshop, I'll happily do it for you. If you want your legacy to live forever, send me the invite. One item that you will bring to the workshop and why it is your chosen item. Chosen authors will be stripped of all personal possessions other than prescribed medications at the door. Lucifer, my rabbit, my muse is my lucky charm, or a package deal. It's both of us, or none. My impressions on the applicant. She struggles with authority. Likely has issues in family of origin. No other source of income or hint of prior job history. Explains the bunny. She needs a fluffy friend to leave the house, likely naive in how the real world works. Possible anxiety issues could impact the overall group dynamic or how she's able to function in group exercises. Not a team player anyway. Clearly read my 4th book, describing herself nearly exact to Jane Doe. Likely unoriginal, with clear concern projected toward me about her ability to revive the life, in her words. She enjoys a challenge, also challenging authority. And while she doesn't have balls, she hopes that I don't either. Possible gender confusion. Diet may mean a change to the tasting exercise. We wouldn't want to bore our resident egomaniac. Condescending, impressive achievements, attention to detail, fears burning out before her prime, lazy, assumes, either that or clearly naive. That's easy. Complains about homework, yet sits at the front of the class. Second to turn in assignment. Drown her in busy work. See how long she lasts. Impressive vocabulary. Fantasy, not horror. Possible borderline explore psychosis. Most likely not capable of living in the real world due to fear. We'll see about that. Time for a push. Our next applicant, Donald McPhee. Pen name Don Hart. Preferred genre thriller, mostly political and action. Years of writing experience, enough. Best-selling titles, awards attained in title only, 2013. Powers Abused, 2014. The Senator's Sister, 2015. David's Retreat, 2016. First Lady's Lover, 2017. The Daughter at 1600 Pennsylvania, 2018. All bestsellers on Amazon. Number of published works to date, 10. Employment writer. Hobbies, hunting, horses, fishing, water sports, hiking, camping. If it's outdoors, I do it. Dietary preferences and restrictions. If I can't easily identify it, I don't eat it. Writing goals, 6 figures ASAP. Personal goals, financially secure and able to travel. 500 words or less. Tell Mathews why you should be chosen to attend this once-in-a-lifetime workshop. I deserve this workshop because when I write, I get it done. Most of my works have gone bestseller and delve into the darker side of politics that don't involve the American people much. I want to make an income that accurately reflects my talents. I want to show my kids the world outside of their immediate zip code, but I also want to have the ability to explore on my own. I inspire people wherever I go, and I'm never at a loss for company or companionship. People get me. I want to be appreciated for my gifts instead of always having to wonder how to push the next book. Marketing is a drag on my valuable time when I could be writing the next masterpiece. I want to get where I can pay a staff to do that for me. I know you understand where I'm coming from. You've risen above and beyond, and I feel that pooling our talents would give us both what we want. Your legacy will live on, and my legacy will shine. It's exactly what you're looking for. The one item you will bring to the workshop and why it's your chosen item? My leather-cased Ranger multi-tool. I never leave home without it. It has everything from pliers to knife to a secret compartment, special built to hold condoms. This puppy never leaves my side. My impressions on this applicant. Smart enough to attempt to bring a weapon. Believes he's responding to a personal ad and that the Murder Maker Workshop is a sort of retreat that will offer opportunities to use those rubbers. Fascinating. Feels I need him. A partnership. Missed that memo that I'm dying in decaying flesh. Did show some level of respect for my achievements, but has to date been mostly missing in initial check-ins. Ego, perhaps? Find the weakness. Apparently fine with our culinary delights as long as they're recognizable. I'll ask Alice to leave the eyeballs out for him. Loves the outdoors? Perfect. Squirrels would work. Recognizable and naturey. He can pretend he's on a wilderness retreat in a nudist colony. Genre breaker. 6-figure stat. Oh, well then. Right on it, Don Juan. Loathes marketing. First one I have something in common with other than Jenny and her curious collection. Perhaps our common interests will get me a second date. Lucky Lee. Water sports, I bet. Decent achievements, but likely genre specific. Can he change voices? Note, room him with Jenny. He can easily identify her pet. Keep away from Ruby if he has any hope to win. Then again, it could be the perfect trap. I'm exactly who you're looking for. Let's see if Dawn can start with thinking with the right head. Our next applicant for the Murder Maker Horror Writing Workshop. Claire Thomas. Pen name Honey Harper. Erotica. I'll be writing under Claire Thomas when I branch out into other genres. Preferred genre, erotica is my bread and butter, but I'm ready to make the leap into the multi-genre world. Years of writing experience, 30 plus. Best-selling titles, awards attained. I am a USA Today best-selling author. I have written 12 Amazon #1 sellers. All 23 of my erotica books have reached bestseller status in the States. Internationally, I won first place in the 2015, 2016, and 2017 Writers Unite Awards for Best Erotic Novel. I've also won numerous awards voted on by fans, such as Favorite Author, Hottest Sex Scenes, and Self-Published Author of the Year. My #1 titles include the Honey series, Honey Takes Manhattan, Honey in the farmland, honey's work is never done. Fuck like honey, honey in Wonderland, honey meets her maker. Honey's Easter Madness, a little honey for Christmas. Other titles to reach #1, The Dark Room, Flings Bling and Sex Swings, His Little Minx, Going in Dry. I did not list my other titles, but will gladly add them if needed. Number of published works to date, 23. Employment, author. Hobbies. My kids are almost grown now, so I enjoy making the best of life. I hike, kayak, I like to stay active in the community. I'm also a proud mother to several fur babies. Dietary preferences, restrictions, none. Writing goals. I want to take over the world. As an erotic author, my talent is often overlooked. I want to spread my wings, take on new genres, and learn the ins and outs of the craft. I may not be the best writer around, but I am the most dedicated. I want to take part in your writer's retreat in hopes of learning more about the horror genre and your amazing craft. Locking in that New York Times bestseller title won't hurt my feelings either. Personal goals. Meet Lee Mathews and become a household name. 500 words or less. Tell Lee Mathews why you should be chosen to attend this once-in-a-lifetime workshop. I'm your biggest fan. I've read everything you've written and feel you're the perfect mentor for my journey. I'm ready to become a serious author. I'm tired of hearing people talk about smut authors and how we have no talent. I want to show you and the rest of the world I have what it takes to become a great author. One item you'll bring to the workshop and why it's your chosen item, my trusty bullet. Girl can't leave home without it. Well, my notes on this applicant. Where to even begin? Smut writer with a pen name Honey, who wants to be taken seriously, but whose one item is a bullet. And it's not the kind one would imagine in a horror writing workshop. Fuck my actual life. Zero signs of entitlement. Impressive achievements, considering the genre. Then again, achievements may be due to the genre. Overshares. Will struggle with creating suspense. Watch her on the show, don't tell. I'm your biggest fan. Must not be kings. Has she ever read a single horror novel? Why does she want to write them? Sloppy like she's Ruby's twin. Can't possibly know when to italics. Likely struggles with formats. No dietary restrictions? So easy. Like her, I suspect. However, if all she eats is covered in honey like her titles, it may just help her break that little obsession. Smut to snuff. Is it possible? Time to find out. And our next applicant. Clarence Renz McAvoy. Pen name Brian Pratt. Preferred genre, romance and horror, just depends on my mood, what work in progress I choose at the time I'm writing. Years of writing experience, professionally 10, scribbling in journals since I was a teenager, best-selling titles, awards attained, USA Today best-selling author, aiming for New York Times once I'm able to step away from my business, currently contracted with Insanity Press, Burleson, Texas. Number of published works to date, 20. I regularly publish a novel twice a year. Employment, I'm the CEO of McAvoyage Enterprises, a tech company that specializes in homegrown phone and tablet applications for small businesses. Hobbies, when I'm not working, I am writing or spending time with my family. My wife and I were unable to conceive children on our own, so through in vitro fertilization, our hope of having twins turned into quadruplets 11 years ago. My 4 children, Mike, Leo, Raph, and Donnie, are rather demanding when it comes to attention. Each child also has their own cat, which helps keep them out of my hair. Stoker a Bombay, Hemingway, he's obviously a Hemingway cat, Huxley is a gray tabby, and Dostoevsky an orange bobtail. My wife and our live-in nanny care for the children, and when free time allows, we try to do family activities. Dietary preferences, restrictions. I have no dietary restrictions, but I'm highly allergic to perfumed laundry detergent like Tide. Writing goals, less romance, more horror. Personal goals. I aim to hand over more of my day-to-day responsibilities with my company in due time so I can focus more on writing. It's truly my outlet, and I very much want to hone in on what the voices inside my head are saying. 500 words or less. Why you should be chosen to attend this workshop. Romance writing has always come easily for me. I've never had an issue with penning swoony mails for the readers, but horror stories, on the other hand, have me intrigued. Merging the two genres has sparked something inside me. The satisfaction of a knife slashing through the main character and ripping them away from their loved one is extremely intriguing. This crafting ability is something I'm very eager to learn from the master himself, and the one item you will bring to the workshop. Clozapine is my only prescribed medication. I'll be bringing a wooden mallard that sits on my desk when I'm writing. It was my father's and often provides inspiration to me. It's also heavy. Notes on the applicant. Cannot possibly use the provided form, and after turning it in days later than the rest of the bunch, feels no shame about it. Fascinating fellow, overshares more than any male I've ever known, and yet has a wife and quadruplets. Has manners but lacks attention to detail, referred to Lee or unknown recipient as Madam versus the safer to whom it may concern. Possible crossdresser projecting? Bold? Or is this another one of those pesky details? Interesting item of choice. His need to remind me that his mallard is heavy shows both insecurity and confidence at the same time. Is it a threat? Another overshare? A way of telling me he's ready for anything I might throw at him? Cats. Cat pride. Cat fixations. You think he was a woman with a cat named Whispers? Maybe this is how he can write swoony men for women? Time will tell. Possible he has the ability to get in a woman's mind. Somehow I doubt it. Something's up with this guy. Creative, good with tech, watch him. Tell Alice to wash his clothing and tie. He can scratch himself to death like his cats. He'll clearly miss them. So, friends, those are the applicants that have been selected for the Murder Maker workshop. And remember, 5 will enter, 1 will die. As you can see, it's a very eclectic bunch. Got a lot of writing backgrounds. We've got a lot of attitude. And I'm going to find out what makes them all tick and get this done. Because the stakes are high. The prize of taking over my legacy, that's a hell of a prize. But it has a cost. Waivers were signed. They'll be coming. And you, friends, are going to have to wait to get your hands on a copy to find out what will happen when they all arrive at my estate for the Murder Maker workshop. I've been in touch with the editor. She's chugging along. So, perspective, you may be able to get this book by, within the next 2 weeks. We'll have to talk to the publisher. But you're definitely going to want to get your hand on a copy of Murder Maker, because you're going to have to find out what happened. Take your bets on this colorful cast of characters. Who will come out on top? Who will leave in a body bag? You just don't know. But do be guaranteed that it's going to be a wild ride and very, very entertaining. These people have pasts to dig into for sure. Well, I thank you for joining me for this Murder Maker edition of Mixed Nuts. And, well, I do hope that you're going to be on book watch, because it's coming. The truth is coming. The answers are coming. And you will find out what will happen. I'm not worried, Tiffany. I'm going to die. Whatever I leave behind is for some other schmuck to take care of. The stakes are high, but the rewards are great. But I'm going to get out of here. So, enjoy, friends. I hope that you enjoyed meeting our cast of players that will be joining me. Keep your eye out, because it's coming. Oh, answers are coming. Place your bets. I'm going to go get a refill and prepare for the workshop. So enjoy, friends. Thanks for tuning in and meeting our illustrious group of writers. Remember, 5 will enter, 1 will die. You're going to have to wait to find out. All right? You never know what's going to happen. In book world, things are very twisty. Enjoy, friends, and let the gears be turning. And hedge your bets. Who will it be? Somebody's got to be the loser. Enjoy.